everyone. It is time to wrap up the hour. I want to thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to meet you again next week. Also, one last time, I want to give a shout out to our VOA listeners on the FM station in Liberia. That is Buffalo FM 94.1. You guys listen live to this show Saturdays and Sundays at 0900 and 2000 UTC. Also in Lusaka, Zambia, on our VOA FM station there, 101.7 FM. Thank you for listening. And if you're listening online right now, you can actually listen live on 101.7 FM Saturdays and Sundays at 15 and 2000 UTC. Also, I didn't mention this FM during the hour, but I just want to give a shout out to our FM 107.5 Nairobi, Kenya, and 107.8 FM in Mombasa. If you're listening online right now, you can listen live on that station Saturdays and Sundays at 0900 and 2000 UTC. Also, thanks to my VOA guests, Jimmy Miwa and Mokhtar Yabaro out there in Cote d'Ivoire, and also to our musical guests, Cyril Broto and Abhay Pisaker, who are also supporting us here at headquarters in Washington earlier this week. Till next
شرفت على بلد البيان.
This is VOA News. The Secretary General of the United Nations has called on 9 countries to resume funding the main agency providing aid in the Gaza Strip. The United States, Britain, and other Western nations suspended funding to the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees after several employees were accused of taking part in the attack that ignited the Israel war 4 months ago. The dispute engulfing the agency came as U.S. officials said negotiators were closing in on a ceasefire agreement. Hamas is a U.S. designated terrorist group. Iran says it has successfully launched 3 satellites into space, the latest for a program that the West says improves Tehran's ballistic missiles. More from VOA's Tommy McNeil.
The Iran news agency reported Sunday that the launch also saw the successful use of Iran's Samoud rocket, which has had multiple failures in the past. The United States has previously said Iran's satellite launches defy a UN Security Council resolution and called on Tehran to undertake no activity involving ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons. UN sanctions related to Iran's ballistic missile program expired last October. Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
2 masked gunmen shot 1 person dead during Sunday morning service at a church in Istanbul, Turkey's interior minister said, adding authorities were working to capture the assailants. He said the attack, which Ankara condemned, took place at the Italian Santa Maria Catholic Church, and 1 person targeted by the gunmen was killed while attending the service. Istanbul Governor Davat Gül said the victim was a Turkish national and no one else was hurt.
Vatandaşımız.
Speaking to reporters outside the church, he said the attackers fired just 1 person. This is VOA News. Ukraine Security Service says employees from an arms firm conspired with Defense Ministry officials to embezzle almost $40 million earmarked to buy mortar shells for the war with Russia. The SBU said late Saturday 5 people have been charged and the money has been recovered. The investigation comes as Kyiv clamps down on corruption as it attempts to speed up its membership in the European Union and NATO. Officials from both blocs have demanded widespread anti-graft reforms before Kyiv can join them. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was elected on an anti-corruption platform in 2019, long before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Three West African junta-led states, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, said on Sunday they are leaving the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, immediately, according to a joint statement read out on Niger's national television.
Leur Excellence, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré.
The three neighboring states are all ruled by military officers who have seized power in coups in 2020. This has put them, the coups were since 2020. This has put them at odds with the rest of West African bloc, which is urging them to return to democratic rule. The juntas have all severed long-standing military ties with former colonial ruler France, dealing a blow to France's influence in the region and complicating international efforts to curb a decades-old Islamist insurgency that has destabilized the Sahel region. Two climate activists have hurled soup at the glass protecting the Mona Lisa at the Louvre Museum in Paris and shouted slogans advocating for a sustainable food system. It comes as French farmers have been protesting for days across the country against several issues, including low wages. A newcomer to the Australian Open men's finals is now the tennis major tournament's champion. AP correspondent Graham Agar's reports.
22-year-old Yannick Sinner has produced a dramatic comeback from 2 sets to love down to claim the Australian Open title over retiring Daniel Medvedev. Sinner finally sealed the win 6-3 in the fifth set of a 3-hour and 44-minute battle, with the Russian clearly showing the physical effects of 4 5-set matches during the championship and a record 24 hours plus on court. Sinner became just the third Italian male to win a major title, and he did it on his first visit to a final. The finale was the 35th 5-set match for a championship, equaling the record set at the 1983 US Open. I'm Graham Agar.
And I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA News.
Welcome to Untitled Africa. We are coming to you live from the English to Africa service of the Voice of America. Thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Forte in Washington, D.C.